The story of Khalid ibn al-Waleed, the greatest general that Islam has ever seen, the one who helped the conquest of Palestine, of Jerusalem, of Qadisiyah, the one who participated in fighting against the Sassanids in Persia, the greatest military general who never once suffered any defeat in any battle that he fought. We all know the legend of Khalid ibn al-Waleed. What many of us don't know is the story of his conversion, and the fact that there was a very instrumental player in his conversion story. And had it not been for this person, maybe we would never have had Khalid ibn al-Waleed. And that person was his older brother, Al-Waleed ibn al-Waleed. His father and son were named the same, Al-Waleed ibn al-Waleed. The brother was called Al-Waleed and the father is also Waleed. So the Waleed, the son of Waleed. His older brother Waleed actually converted to Islam before Khalid. And he was writing letters to Khalid all the time, inviting him to Islam. But Khalid wasn't interested. And even that story is very interesting. I don't have time to go into all of it, but I've given a longer lecture on Khalid ibn Waleed and you can listen to it online. It's a very beautiful story. Al-Waleed, the brother, was always interested in guiding his brother to Islam. He would write letters to him, he would give him da'wah, but was no use in value. Then his father had died, Khalid's father dies, Waleed's father dies, so Waleed and Khalid are now left without a father. So then, in the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, the Muslims agree with the Quraysh that they're going to be allowed access to Mecca for 3 days the next year to do the tawaf, to do the sa'i, to do the pilgrimage. So in the 7th year of the Hijrah, Al-Waleed has not seen his brother Khalid for 6 years. They haven't seen each other for 6 years. Al-Waleed is missing his brother. In the 7th year of the Hijrah, the Muslims perform the Umrah in Mecca. And Waleed rushes to the house of Khalid, hoping to see Khalid. But Khalid had decided to opt out of staying in Mecca. He didn't want to see the Muslims. So Khalid had left the house and camped outside for 3 days. He didn't even want to see the Muslims. So Al-Waleed was heartbroken. Now is going to happen one of those small micro incidents, the butterfly effect. Al-Waleed wrote a very moving, emotional letter to his brother. And he left it in the house for Khalid to find. Al-Waleed wrote a letter from the heart to the heart. And he begged his brother to think about life. What are you doing? For how long will you worship these false gods? Worship Allah. You know Allah is our creator. You know the Prophet is not a liar. He was emotional and blunt and frank. And he said, convert, come to Medina, and I promise you, you shall be honored. We will take care of you. We will treat you with respect. And I have the guarantee of the Prophet. I asked him, I begged on your behalf. Because by the way, who was Khalid? Khalid was the one who caused the disaster of Uhud. Khalid was the one who even in the battle of the trench had done something. So Khalid was somebody whom he also felt, I can't convert, I'm going to be punished or whatnot. Al-Waleed argued on his behalf. Al-Waleed got a concession from the Prophet. He got a promise. If Khalid converts, we're going to protect him, we're going to honor him. All of this is happening behind the scenes. Muslims, most of you have no clue about his brother. But see, here's the point, Allah does. And Allah will reward him. And had it not been for his brother, frankly, we would not be sitting here the way that we are right now. His brother was the one Allah used to guide Khalid to Islam. That letter was the last thing Khalid needed to convert to Islam. It was an emotional breakdown for him. He hadn't seen his brother for 7 years. Now he's in his house. He writes a letter. Why did you leave us? I wanted to see you. Where were you? We haven't seen. We're brothers. Do you remember this and that? Very emotional letter from the heart to the heart. And then a blunt call to convert at the end. How long are you going to avoid this? Come and convert to Islam. Be a good Muslim. And I promise you, you will be forgiven and you will be honored in Medina. The Prophet ﷺ has promised he's going to honor you. So Khalid ibn al-Waleed, he decided to convert to Islam, and he became the last convert before the conquest of Mecca. The last convert to actually migrate from Mecca to Medina, the last convert. We call those converts the Muhajir versus the Ansar. The last Muhajir is Khalid ibn al-Waleed. Because after him, the conquest took place, so there's no more migration after that. And Khalid eventually did convert, and he came to Medina, and the rest, as they say, is history. But here's the point. When Al-Waleed is doing what he's doing, do you think he has any idea that he's thinking about the future? He's thinking about the Sassanid Empire and Persia and Rome and Byzantine. He's thinking about Qadisiyah. He wouldn't even know Qadisiyah. He wouldn't even know these battles. He wouldn't even know what's going to happen in the future. It's not on his mind. But that's the point. Allah's not asking you to calculate the net result of all that's going to happen. Allah's asking you, do you do your job? You spread khair and good and blessings wherever you go. You do your micro acts of good. And who knows, one of them might go and literally change the course of history. That letter that Waleed wrote for his brother literally changed the course of human history. Think about that. Waleed didn't think about that, but that's not his job. That's not his job. His job is to do whatever he can with whatever he has. And Allah will take care of the rest. And that is exactly what he did. And so the rewards of Khalid ibn Waleed and all that he did shall also be given, a share of it, to his brother Waleed. So the conquest of Islam, Al-Waleed, we are also indebted to him, even though none of you know of his story. Think about that. These are those micro acts of the butterfly effect, as you call it, where we see people doing things and only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows the future that's going to happen.